I'm not hearing anything. Good morning, Courtney. It's Chief Pauly.
Good morning.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Why am I looking at a marijuana plant? Woo!
Helen, what are you talking about?
Courtney, I think we're about ready. I'm about a little after 10 o'clock.
Okay, I'll end this screen and start recording.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is May 26, 2020. This is Rich Pauly, the Fire Chief and Co-Emergency Management Director. We are in our every other Tuesday emergency management team and select board meeting for updates for the community. And Chief Hurley, good morning.
Good morning, Chief. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. So we have an agenda which we typically follow, and we'll go down that agenda, and then we will certainly entertain questions from anyone who is here. I'm showing that at this point we have 66 participants in the meeting, and so I'll ask Hillary for her update from the health department.
Good morning. I actually don't have a whole lot to report on today. I think we are into phase 1 of the reopening. We've fielded a number of questions from various businesses throughout town on when they can open, what materials they need, where can they find the materials. So we've been working closely with our businesses. We're here. Should anyone have questions that has not reached out, we're available. We've been in contact with Lara from the Cape Cod Chamber, trying to coordinate a meeting with them and our students and the town of Truro Health Department, which should be very interesting, and I look forward to that. And in addition, the Wellfleet Board of Health will be reviewing some proposed housing rental registration documents at their meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock that may be of interest to members of the community. It will be on the Zoom platform. The information is available through the town website. This is not the public hearing. This is the step before the public hearing. So if folks have comments, we would welcome you to come to that meeting and let us know your thoughts, please. And with that, I think that's all I'll report for now. If folks have questions, I'm here and available.
Very good. Thank you, Hillary. I will also ask if Out of Cape Health, someone from Out of Cape Health is on the meeting or on the phone.
Yes, good morning. I'm here.
Good morning, Lisa.
Morning, how are you?
Good, good.
So we don't have a lot of updates either. Our testing volume has been relatively steady, and the number of positive cases remains relatively low relative to other areas of the Commonwealth. So we're certainly seeing an increase in some need for patients to be seen here in the health center, including visitors and folks who are returning here for their second homes, but nothing that is of really any concern or anything different than what we have been expecting. So I think steady as she goes at this point.
Okay, very well. Very good. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Next on the list is the Department of Public Works.
Yes, hi, Rich. Thank you, Chief. Not much to report other than besides our normal maintenance tasks, our staff has been doing an excellent job preparing a number of preparations. Obviously, beach opening and preparations were done a month earlier than normal. They have also been busy preparing the cemeteries for Memorial Day. Other tasks include sweeping and a lot of road repairs. We have a number of town dirt roads that we also have to maintain. Trash barrels have been put out, so they're monitored and picked up 7 days a week right now. We've had a lot of signs to make, in particular for the beaches and for other departments. I think what we need right now is a sign that says, please read the signs. That would help. But so other than those type of preparations, our custodial staff has been busy cleaning and disinfecting town facilities on a 7-day schedule right now. Transfer station operations have been going well, kind of hectic. We appreciated all the cooperation from the staff using the transfer station. It's been a tough transition with everything going on, but everyone has been very cooperative. An update on that is that pay-as-you-throw bags requirement has been postponed until Labor Day, at least for now. Other than that, next week, we're going to begin assisting the Shellfish Department with the coach program. At least that's the plan for right now. And other than that, we are executing some grant opportunities. And I think that Jay, if you're on, haven't we ordered some masks, another 2,000 masks? I don't know if Jay's on right now, but
Yep,
That's my
I'm on. Can you
understanding.
hear me?
Yeah, Jay, did we order some more masks?
Yeah, we have 2 cases coming in, and each case is 2,000 masks, so we have quite a few coming in.
Okay, terrific. I think that's all I have for you right now, Chief. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you, Mark. I'm just gonna make a comment. I think the transfer station has been working out very well with the changes. The times that I've gone up there, it's been very orderly. The staff has been exceptionally helpful. So I just wanted to give you a shout out for that. I think they're doing a great job over there.
I just, I'm very fortunate to have the staff that I have here right now. There's a lot of names that I could name off, but it would start to sound like the Emmy Awards. But I like to thank them all and all the cooperation that we've gotten from other departments and department heads. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Next, we'll go on to community services. Suzanne Grout Thomas, good morning.
Good morning. The biggest development in community services is, of course, that we started checking beach stickers as of Wednesday, the 20th. And it was a very quiet weekend. Since we've been starting stickers, there's been a 15 to 20 knot wind out of the east, and it doesn't make for very conducive beach going. So there was no crowding. There were no issues. Several people did get parking tickets because they did not have a beach sticker, and they were issued an appeal form so that they could explain why it wasn't fair. And as of yesterday, we had sold on the online process and a handful of sticker by mail applications, approximately $90,000 in resident beach and combination stickers, which is about a third of what we would normally sell. So we're well on our way to getting the residents taken care of. We're all waiting for the governor to see what he says about short-term lodging, and what he says about that will be determining what the town of Wellfleet does about its beach stickers and sales. And that's about it.
Thank you, Suzanne. Becky, are you on the line for Recreation Department?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Good morning, Chief. I have a few updates from the Recreation Department I wanted to let everybody know about. The first one is that construction on the pavilion at Bakersfield is beginning on June 4th, next week. Also, the department is planning a celebratory graduation caravan for the 24 graduating high school seniors from Wellfleet on Friday, June 5th at 11 a.m. Each student will be given a designated location to stand along the parade route, which will go from Wellfleet Elementary School through the center of town, down Holbrook Ave, and dispersing at the town pier. Each student will be presented with a congratulatory gift bag of donated mementos and gift certificates from Wellfleet town businesses, and a banner recognizing the graduates will be placed on the lawn of the Wellfleet Fire Department. Anyone who would like to participate in the caravan should meet at Wellfleet Elementary School on June 5th by 10:45 a.m. and line up in front of the building. I want a big thank you to all that are supporting this effort in making it possible for the graduates' accomplishments to be recognized in this way. And especially Wellfleet Elementary School, Nancy Porteous is helping organizing, and of course, Wellfleet Fire and Wellfleet Police Department for their constant support in these efforts. We're also continuing to offer virtual programming on the Google Meet platform. We are adding a class in beginning restorative yoga, which is a class that parents and adults can take together. And it's led by Jeannie Murrow, who has done our children's yoga at Rec for years. She's wonderful. So please check the town website and Wellfleet Rec Facebook and Instagram pages for detailed information on all this virtual programming. And that's all I have for this morning, Chief.
Thank you, Becky. Just a few quick updates from the fire department. The weekend activity was a little less than we anticipated, and I'm pretty confident or pretty sure that that was as a result of the weather. Certainly, it was not the warmest of Memorial Days or the sunniest. Regardless, we were still out there. I spent some time moving around the beach properties and also the pier in downtown. And, we did have some activity in the community, but nothing that was certainly unmanageable this weekend. With respect to the fire department updates, we are currently down 2 full-time positions. We have 2 openings, so we're running short-staffed at the moment. We have a recruitment process that is currently underway, and hopefully we'll be reviewing resumes and applications by the end of this week. But still, we're not sure what that may yield. It's been my observation that mask usage is actually going quite well in town. My estimation is that at least 90% compliance, which we're grateful for, but we still need to continue to educate folks and encourage them to wear masks when out in public and when they cannot meet the 6-foot distancing guideline. Unfortunately, in the last couple of weeks, we have had a couple of confrontations from visitors or residents, not with respect to wearing masks or not wearing masks, but just as we've been out and providing service and service calls. So I guess what I'm going to end on is that a plea to everyone to continue to do their best to be patient and be kind to each other. We certainly don't want to be in a position that we are just being unkind. Let's put it that way. I've instructed all my staff, and I think we're doing a good job of going the extra mile to provide the best public service and public safety we can to the community. But I'd ask for everyone's cooperation to just be the best person you can at this point. And with that, I will turn to Chief Hurley for an update from the police department.
Great, thanks, Chief. I appreciate it, and I will also piggyback the same sentiments as the fire chief. This past weekend, and again, probably more towards weather, we had about 115 calls for service over the weekend. No major incidences. One beach fire on Sunday night that was called in on one of our ocean beaches, but no confrontations, which is good. No disturbances over mask wearing, but like the chief said, we're all in this together right now. And to piggyback off of that, between town purchases and the state through MEMA, we have masks available for pretty much anybody. We have for households, essential workers, frontline workers, anybody in town. Just reach out to us or Hillary at the health department, fire department. We will get you the mask you need. And last week, the state actually dropped off cloth masks that come in packs of 5 for households. So we have those available for the community. And please, if you need them or you have family visiting or anybody visiting, just give us a call and we will get those to you. And we do have more coming both through the town and the state. A quick few updates with some state organizations. I know probably a lot of us out there that have registrations or licenses that are expiring during this crisis. The registry has extended expiration dates for registrations and licensing. I will put that on our Facebook site, but it looks like they're roughly giving till the fall for March 2020, April, May, June, July, and August. They are pushing expiration dates into September through December. But I'm going to put all the information online. I believe registries next month should be getting back to some type of operations. I won't call it normal or full scale, but I know that they are way behind right now in trying to process what they need to. The courts are scheduled to, quote, open, and I'm not sure what that means yet, on June 1st. But please understand, emergency restraining orders, harassment prevention orders, any type of emergency orders, the court is still hearing during business hours. They're just not, quote, open to the public for a day-to-day business right now until June 1st. And pretty much the last thing, last week, we were able to get our lobby opened up to day-to-day operations. However, if people can still call or email, that would be helpful just to kind of keep the traffic down. But we were anticipating visitors, an uptick in traffic, appeals, parking, and that has happened. Also, gun licensing and all the other things that we process here, we're trying to get back online with that. So I think that's it this morning, Chief. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. Next is the town administration. I will ask Mr. Hoort and then Mr. Travato, and then move on to select board members. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, everybody. I echo what our two chiefs said. Be kind to each other. It's a stressful time for everybody. The town did really well over the weekend, and we are thankful for the weather, which probably helped to that. But we're all in this together, so let's be kind to each other. Be careful about exploding at somebody because they're not wearing a mask or they ask you to wear a mask. There's a reason why we're asking people to wear masks. So we are starting to plan for a gradual reopening of some town buildings. Understand, please, that recreation, library, and senior center are probably going to look very different for some time until social distancing guidelines are no longer in place, which probably means when we have a vaccine, something like that. It's just going to look very different right now. And understand we're trying to do the best we can to serve our public, but there are limitations as to what we can do. I think in the state, phase 1 seems to be going relatively smoothly. As you look towards phase 2, there are a lot of guidelines that are probably still going to come out. So as always, we want the answers now, but we're in a continuing process for the state to make some guidelines as they open phase 2. Phase 2 is probably going to be either June 8th or June 15th, provided that there isn't an uptick cases from phase 1. You have also probably seen we've done a couple of PSAs so far, one for the beaches, one for the library. Thank you to Mia and staff who have worked on these. I think they'll be a good way of educating people and making sure everybody knows what's expected of them. So that's it for me. Mike Travato, you have anything?
Thanks, Dan. You've covered pretty much everything. Just would add that we are meeting weekly with the Chamber of Commerce Board to talk about reopening for the businesses and ways in which we can collaborate to make that transition go smoothly. That's all I have.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to turn to the select board if any members have questions or would like to make comments.
How do I raise my hand? There we go.
I think Janet's on the line. I'd like to go in the order of Ms. Reinhardt, and then Ms. Wilson, Ms. Bacon, Ms. Carlson, and Mr. DeVasto if they're there. So Janet, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I want to congratulate everyone on doing a good job. I was really curious about how this weekend would go, and I think it was fairly easy. You guys can hear me, right? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
I just want to tell everyone out there to take care of each other, and that the more we follow the state guidelines, the more we social distance, the more we wear masks when necessary, the easier our next phase will be, and how we can open up more confidently. And I will make a short comment that I'm seeing and getting a lot of complaints about dogs off of leashes. And that is something too that many people are afraid of, and you really never know when a dog is going to bite. So that is one of our regulations. And that's it. That is it. Yep. Thank you. And thank everybody for being conscientious.
Thank you very much, Janet. We appreciate your kind words. Ms. Wilson, are you there, Helen?
Yes, I have a question for Hillary. Hillary, are you there? Hillary?
I'm here. Right
Thank
there.
you. So has there, given that the science on the virus and its interaction with the rest of the world is breaking news every week, is there anything new about the virus's persistence in water in which we could swim? Has there been any new science on it that you're aware of? And I'm not saying you should have been with all you have to do. I'm just bringing it up and wondering. I haven't started swimming yet. This is self-serving.
That's okay. I have been swimming and so have my children. I don't know if that makes you feel any better, but I have seen nothing. I have seen nothing formal come out of any government agency that's new. I did read an article over the weekend, and I'm trying to recall where it came from, that talked about the presence of COVID in wastewater. And if I can put my hands back on that article, I will send it to you. So it is present in wastewater. We know that it's present in wastewater. We do sample our ponds and our oceans for indicators of wastewater. So we have had nothing come up positive. We're not directly testing for COVID in our waterways, but we are testing for the standard parameters that we test for each summer. So when I find that article, I will get that to you, but I believe it is safe to swim. I would say that the risk again is the person-to-person contact, not so much the water itself.
Yes, just to follow up on that. Again, this is unfolding very quickly, and my experience of the delay between people doing science on this all over the world, on this matter, not specifically about water, is that there seems to be a delay of about 3 or 4 weeks before it percolates out to us. We have known about the wastewater already, and that makes sense because it can live in the GI tract and we're mammals and it likes us as a host. But I guess my follow-up question is, are you aware of any test for COVID-19 in an environment like water? So if they found it in wastewater, it must be possible to run some water through a test protocol and find out if it exists or not. And if so, how expensive is that? If you know anything about this, and should we be testing our, for example, pond water at heavily used public landings for that, as well as all the other things we test for? Basically, I swim all summer, and I feel safe, and I don't do the crawl. That's the thing. So I'm safer than most people and will be going for my first swim pretty soon. But this is something I feel we should be aware of, just as we're aware of the persistence of the virus in different environments, in the air and on surfaces. Thank you.
So a short answer to your question is I am unaware of any testing facilities or tests at this moment that we could use for our bathing beach water. I haven't heard of any. I don't know of any other communities that are engaging in that. The same question would hold true for drinking water. So we don't have those answers at the moment.
Thank you.
Okay, do you have anything else, Helen?
No, thank you.
Okay, very well, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Bacon. Kathleen? Kathleen, you were muted. We couldn't hear you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I have no comments or questions this morning. I just would like to thank everybody. I thought the weekend went, pretty low key, which was good for us. The weather played a factor in that. So far, so good. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kathleen. Ms. Carlson, are you on the line?
Yes.
No, she's muted.
Can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks. Sorry about that. Yes, just like those select board members before me, I wanted to commend our emergency management team for your outstanding professionalism and handling all that's coming down the pike. I have a quick question for OCHF if they're here. Do we still have OCHS?
Yep, I'm here, sorry.
That's okay. I wanted to ask if you expect to need to do more testing this summer, and if so, how's that going to unfold?
My crystal ball, I don't know how effective it is right now. I think it really depends so much on visitors from off Cape and what sort of volume we see and how well people continue to adhere to wearing masks and social distancing. It will depend on if we see an increase of positive tests and the contact tracing identifies large numbers of people that have been exposed, then our numbers are definitely going to increase. We did recently put a tent outside in the Wellfleet Health Center parking lot to allow us to accommodate increased testing volume as needed, and potentially, if needed, could also be used sort of as a respiratory clinic location if needed. We haven't found that we've had a need for that at this point, but we wanted to be prepared just in case. So
sure.
we feel
Sounds like we're planning for the possibility of increased volume. Would you divert staff to test? Because I know you said it's not a strategy of hiring anymore people to test, but you deploy people who aren't currently
certainly
tests? Got it.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we're prepared and keeping an eye on it on a daily basis to monitor our testing, and we've got the ability to as you said, redeploy staff to meet the volume. So
sure.
It's definitely front of mind for us, no question.
Of course. Thank you very much. And then I have
You're
a quick
welcome.
question for Chief Polly. I know on our last call, you mentioned that you're down a bit of staff. Can you remind me how that is?
We've recently had a resignation to move on to another department, and we've had to let one person go on a personnel matter. So that puts us down 2, and I don't expect that we'll be up to full staff until at least mid-July, if then, because the process takes time, and also it certainly is incumbent upon us attracting qualified personnel, which I know most Cape Cod fire departments are having issues with right now. So again, we're kind of all in the same boat.
Got you. Thanks a lot. And Chief Hurley, how are you looking at your staffing?
Currently, I have 2 that are, I guess you could say, stuck in the police academy. It's like Charlie on the MBTA. They keep going around and around. I'm hoping to get 1 back the end of June and 1 back the end of July, and we are down 5 summer officers this year. So right now we're holding our own, and we do have mutual aid through other towns, but it's we are short this summer also.
You down 5 summer officers. It's just been hard in the COVID climate to attract them.
I think we're seeing a few things, and some of it I brought to the board this past winter. There's not the climate to apply for this job anymore is part of it. Departments are hiring faster and more than they used to. So we only saw 2 applications this year, which I'm having a feeling this is going to be a trend, unfortunately, for summer program.
Sure. Thank you very much for going over that with me. I don't have any more questions for anyone. And again, thanks so much for all you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justina. I don't believe Mr. DeVasto's on the call this morning. That's my understanding. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Courtney if she has anyone that has questions or would like to give an update. Oh, hold on, I'm sorry, Helen has her hand raised. Go ahead, Helen.
Yes, this is a follow-up on Justina's question to Outer Cape Health. Ms. Kane, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, so you were speaking about testing for COVID-19, but what is the status of antibody testing now through you or here on the Cape, please?
Yes, the status for antibody testing, that is available through Quest Diagnostics. And Quest has service centers in each of our health centers, Provincetown, Wellfleet, and Harwichport. And I believe they also have a freestanding service center in Orleans. And patients are able to self-refer for the antibody test. They pay out of pocket up front before they're able to schedule the test. And the test is in the neighborhood of $120 to $130. And that includes a separate administrative fee that they apply. So it's definitely available, and we have seen definite increases in the number of people visiting our sites to obtain this antibody test.
Are there different kinds of antibody tests? In other words, what does Quest use? Because the tests for COVID-19, as we know, there are a number of different kinds of tests. So for the antibody tests, is there one preferred one, or do you know anything about that?
Well, because Quest is the actual provider of that test, it's not really up to Outer Cape Health Services to determine which one they use. So, you know, certainly we weren't involved in the decision-making regarding that. There are different commercial antibody tests available. And Quest has reported very good specificity regarding their test, meaning that they have done some studies which indicate to them, and I haven't seen all of the detailed data, that it's picking up only this particular virus and not other coronaviruses that might cause different upper respiratory infections. So, so there definitely are different kinds, and there's some, I think, some feeling in the medical community that we don't really know the value of this antibody test yet, meaning it may be able to tell someone that they have antibodies to this particular coronavirus. But what that means exactly, there aren't answers to that yet in the scientific community. Does it mean that there's any immunity conferred by having those antibodies present in your bloodstream? We honestly don't know. So our providers are not regularly recommending that this test be conducted because of the, I think, limits on what we know about what does it really tell us. Does it provide any protection? We really don't know.
Thank you very much. That was valuable.
Can I just add in there too? That's the same message that DPH is pushing out as well. We don't know the value of the antibody test, and they're recommending just the nasal swab to determine if someone has it or does not have it. So they're not actually recommending that either.
It's been one of the challenges that we've seen is that people are coming to get the antibody test because they can easily self-refer in the hopes that it will tell them if it's safe for them to be around other people or have family come to visit. And that is definitely not what this test tells you at all. It only tells you if you had some prior exposure, probably at least 10 days prior. So as the Department of Public Health is cautioning, it is not a diagnostic test. So it should not be used to determine whether or not it's safe for you to have contact with other people.
I understand. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, ladies. Courtney, do you have any questions or anything for input?
Yeah, Mary Ellen has her hand up, so I'm going to unmute her and let her ask her question. Mary Ellen, if you can unmute yourself. Okay,
Oh,
there you
I
go.
did, thanks. Hi, Chief Polly. I was wondering, the two staff members that you're down, were either of them EMTs or paramedics?
Both of those individuals are firefighter paramedics.
Okay, thanks. And you don't know when you can get them back, or when you can hire more?
Well, we are in the process of going through the recruitment process right now. There are a couple of challenges. The first is that there's an acute shortage of qualified people on Cape Cod, and particularly firefighter paramedics. So in the past, we've had to advertise twice. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. We'll start to review applications at the end of this week. I'm trying to be optimistic, but I also have to be realistic that we may have challenges in finding the most qualified people to join our organization. But we're doing the very best we can, and we're going to try like heck.
I'm sure you are. Good luck. Thank you very much.
And then, Chief, the only question I have right now is what decisions have been made for the Cape at this point in regard to the Cape-wide reopening task force? So if there's any update from anybody on who knows about the Cape-wide reopening task force and has any news, I can say that tomorrow, Julian Sear, later tonight, Representative Sarah Peake and Senator Julian Sear will be on the Selectmen's meeting tonight to give an update in terms of what they're seeing. And I know that they are on that reopening task force. So that's a place you can hear from it. I do really want to encourage everybody, though, that if you are planning to attend the select board meeting tonight, please try and watch the live stream via YouTube rather than logging into the Zoom. Unless you have a direct impact, like you're being appointed to a board or committee, or you're being asked to present something to the board, please do not log into the Zoom. We're waiting for a larger Zoom account. So we just have a bit of a capacity issue, and I don't want anybody getting locked out. So please just attend via the live stream on YouTube. That link is posted onto the agenda on the website. It is posted on Facebook as soon as we start the live stream. And if you have a question or a comment, you are welcome to email me ahead of time, and we will get that to the board. So I'm going to be letting the people who are directly on the agenda into the meeting first, and then it will be, we'll let people in after that, first come, first serve. But unless you have a real question or something, please watch the live stream. It's easy to watch on YouTube. It's recorded there. You can access it from your phone or your computer. So please try and do that if you are able to. Chief Pauly, I'm not seeing any other questions here. DPW has their hand up, and then we have the library update. Mark Vincent, did you have a comment or something?
Yes, thank you, Courtney. I just wanted to add on to Justine's topic of help and seasonal help, in particular for the DPW. We've been advertising, and to my most recent knowledge, we haven't received any applications over the past 10 years. This has steadily been an annual problem for us. We, thank goodness, we've got our two seasonal employees at the transfer station who are coming back and have come back in part, at least. But in terms of helping us with the beaches, cemeteries, trash removal, and a lot of those other associated tasks that the DPW undertakes in the summer, we have absolutely no seasonal help right now. We're not getting any applications, so hopefully that'll improve.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent. It seems that we all have our challenges as departments of trying to find additional help, particularly seasonal help. Do we have the library on, Jennifer?
Hi, thank you. So next week we are going to start curbside pickup of materials, along with the libraries at Eastham, Truro, and Provincetown. Us, along with our boards of trustees, have decided that this is a service we can safely provide for the public during the summer months, and that we cannot really open our doors in a traditional way. We ask that as we get this off the ground, that you have a little bit of patience with us. We're going to have to very much stagger our staff to comply with social distancing, and we can't just all of a sudden have everybody in the building. Excuse me, we're going to have to rotate it by having 2 staff members at a time working on the curbside process, and it's not going to go very quickly. We also need to quarantine the materials when they come back in between each patron. So if you're next on the list for a great book, you're not going to get it for a few days. And initially, the statewide delivery system in between, excuse me, books, in between libraries isn't running yet. It hasn't started running. So the only books you're going to be able to get, the only materials are the ones that are at our library right now. So that's all that's going to start happening at the beginning. So we ask that you understand that. I will be sending out an electronic newsletter with the information about how this is going to work. I'll be posting it on our website at wellfleetlibrary.org, so that you'll have all the information you need to take advantage of this service. We're also moving a lot of our programming online, and we have a link, we have a tab on our website that's called virtual programming, so that you see what we have to offer. I think that is it for this update. I do want to let you know that Anna Nielsen, our youth services librarian, has been working hard at providing content, and she's doing story times at 10:30 on Fridays for small kids and families, but she's also been doing read alouds, because she was doing that with school-age children when the schools were open. So we have some recordings of that on our YouTube channel, and those are linked to from the youth tab on our website. So go see that for more information. And I guess that's it. That's all I have for now, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you very much, Jennifer.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Helen.
Yes, I have a question. Jennifer, what about those of us, and there are quite a few of people I know who had books out when you decided to, shut the library quite reasonably. I still have my books out. Can we just put them in the slot? How do you want to deal with that? Are you receiving returns now?
Yeah, we are receiving returns, and all of your due dates have been extended through June 30th at this point. There are no fines that have been assigned to anybody. There are no late fees. There are no, all due dates have been extended. And yes, we are accepting returns through the slot. So if you happen to be driving by, and if you don't want to leave your house and return your books, don't worry about it. Hold on to them. We're not concerned. So during curbside, this is something we're doing so that if people want to leave their house and get materials, they can. We're not trying to encourage people to leave their homes if they don't want to do that. So it's here if you want it, is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you again, Jennifer. Courtney, do you have anyone else out there?
I'm not seeing any. Nancy Chavetta did ask me.
Courtney, are you talking about
that? Tonight's Selectboard agenda is including a a discussion about seasonal recreational permit sales. And again, unless you have a direct comment or question, which you can email ahead of time, Nancy, I was talking about.
You're totally.
I don't know where she went.
Courtney, we seem to be having technical difficulties between your voice and Nancy's voice.
Nancy, you can give your update.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We can now, Nancy.
Okay. The only update that we have is that tonight on the select board agenda, the Shellfish Department has made a recommendation to not sell seasonal recreational shellfishing permits, and there will be a discussion about it this evening. Annual permits will be sold, so we're not shutting down the fishery to anybody, but we are not going to sell the short-term seasonal passes. Well, that's our suggestion, and the select board needs to make a decision on it. So tune in tonight if you want to say something. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Courtney, anyone else out there that you are aware of?
Not that I'm seeing.
Okay, just a couple of brief comments. Again, reminder that the select board is meeting tonight at 7 p.m. Through our virtual meetings. So please feel free to watch or listen or be part of that, as Courtney has advised. And I would like to publicly thank Courtney. This is managing these meetings and running these meetings is quite challenging. I think we've gotten quite good at it over the last couple of months, but it does not come without its challenges. And I just want to give her a shout out because I think she's doing a great job and it's very much appreciated.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome. So we've had 76 participants at the high count. This Chief Hurley, if he has any other comments before we close.
Just two quick things. Thanks, Chief. I meant to mention with our lobby reopening, we do have a 24-hour drug drop-off box that is in our lobby. We have reopened it. I know that was closed for a few months. So if anybody is looking to get rid of any household medication items, and if you do not feel comfortable coming here to the station, please call us direct and we can come pick it up from your home and get it destroyed properly. And again, just if you're joining late or wasn't available to hear our portion, we do have masks available for anybody in the public, essential workers, households, whoever may need one. So police, fire, health, whoever you need to get in touch with, we will get those masks to you. So thank you, Chief. And thank you everyone for jumping on again today. A great turnout.
Yes. Again, I will reiterate what Chief Hurley said. We have masks available too, so please give us a call, or we'll, if we have to, we'll drop them off at your residence, your business, if we're able to. Having said that, I'd like to thank everyone that participated this morning. We will do this again in 2 weeks as the EMT and Select Board Zoom platform. Everyone be safe. Try to stay healthy, and please remember to be kind to each other. And I will close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.